Also been questionable.
Diversion of the money chain.
Diversion of the money. You divert your wife's money.
For me, I think it is to combat corruption and related issues.
Yes, sir.
I think it is moving money through not the right channels. So, for instance, you have a company in Ghana, and then a foreign company, for instance, then they will decide to award a contract in their home country, inflate the cost of the services they are going to, undertake, just to have that money back into their country without passing through the right or the legal channels.
We have Dr. Bishop Akolgo here. He tell us maybe much more about him, but he's an experienced individual in his area. And so as journalists, we need to understand what illicit financial flows are, how do we contribute to curbing it, as a way of us also contributing to achieving the sustainable development goals, and by extension, the Agenda 2030. And so that is the essence of our training, and it is our hope that you participate fully and will make good use of this knowledge. And every sector will have an effect on the other before we can achieve the Agenda 2030. So one of the areas is this financial, it has become a major concern to the extent that somewhere at 2015 we had AU convening to have a discussion. We have also had United Nations also coming out with a report on this and how it is draining the resources of countries and affecting how they develop. And so it cuts across different sectors.
Used or misused. Good. Now let's zero on the issues around illicit financial flows. When you hear the topic, illicit financial flows, what comes to your mind?
Illicit financial flow is just talking about the wrongful way of transferring money to escape the attention of duty bearers.
Wrongful way of transferring money on the blind side, or even the complicit actions of the duty bearers.
Illicit financial flow, to me, may be referring to the wrongful use of public funds for different purposes.
Misuse of public funds. So all depends on you. 2 days. You have to do all of these. Okay. So in order to be able to cover some of those things that you just mentioned, we have to move rapidly. So first and foremost, I'd like you to switch back to the current event. What is the current happenings? Some have either voted or are about to vote. In the next 5 days, you will go to race. As journalists, you must be able to understand, analyze power and power structures, and how that informs your reportage. To answer that question, you must understand how power operates. Even your small society here in Bolga, in Ghana, in our trade with the EU and the US alone. The University of Ghana cooperating with other partners, and also in 2020, They looked at cocoa and gold and discovered that we had a lot of leakages from those sectors as well. If you look at the Tax Justice Network analysis of these leakages in almost all African countries, they also came up with some figures about the extent of the leakage. So public policy space, domestic resource mobilization, and government budget are interrelated and interconnected. In resource-rich countries, including Ghana, we've already talked about our reliance on natural resource extraction. The country, we are below the soil, on top of the soil, below the sea, all those resources that the international community has assigned as your space belongs to you. And you and I have signed off those resources to an entity called government, or government, to manage on our behalf. And I remember that we never said that she managed on our behalf. It's true or false? We said on our behalf. When you say behalf, it means that the manager, you have delegated authority. When you delegate authority, it doesn't absolve you from responsibility. So that agent must report to you, the principal who's delegated. So the principal is you, the citizen, and the agent is the government. And that government must report to you periodically. It's not enough to go and vote, complain, and go and sit down and wait for another 4 years, then you go and complain again. That is done, and you were talking to you about some of the tricks that is being used.
By beat. Oh, when I look at you, cry, you like. I mean, if I fly you to Dubai, I mean, you like it. The amount of taxes that you're supposed to pay. And of course, now there's something called beneficial ownership, and you know. Interesting thing is that they create a foundation or an NGO, and then they use that NGO, like the Panama issue, facilitates that purchasing. So all the time, you can't connect who the owner of that property is. All right? There's a need for us to do more. Or as media, we need to probe more into what is happening. Then we can do some reporting around those issues. Because if you are able to get those reports out there, not only as a story, but it's revealing for people to have interest or stake in this. Now, when it comes to writing of stories, one of the things that you need to look at is that if it has an interest, okay, for the people, so maybe it is not your interest alone, but it's the interest to the state. Or, I mean, your media house, you pay some small levy to GJA. It goes to the institution, it doesn't go to the government. All right, but taxes, they go to the government. And then when it comes to levies that is imposed by the government, it has a lifespan. All right, it has a lifespan.
Very well, this is the work of Group 1. Your presenter is called Francis Darudabang, and I did it together with
Akolgo. I think I'm not going to
Fantastic. So, we are not like the other group or other groups. We want to give you a preamble on illicit financial flows. What is it all about? That's by way of preamble. It has to do with the movement of money across borders. Okay? Very well. Now, we were tasked by Dr. Bishop Akolgo to look at some economic drivers of IFFs.
Hello.
So one, are we together?
We are together.
Very well. So our first point has to do with tax evasion and avoidance. What does it mean? Individuals and corporations seek to avoid taxes by hiding income, profits, or assets. Yes, you know how they have gained notoriety in doing so. Don't you see that in Ghana?
We say that corruption within institutions, including government bodies, law enforcement agencies, the judiciary, and then other institutions that are supposed to be working to curb IFFs. So if corruption exists within these people, it will enable IFFs in the system. Then the second one is lack of transparency. Institutions that operate within the level of transparency and accountability makes it easier for individuals and companies to engage in IFFs. So there are institutions that if there's no transparency within them, what happens is that all the deals will be pushed under, and it will in a way encourage illicit financial flows. And then the other one has to do with weak judicial system. So if the judicial system is not robust enough, it is not executing justice to punish people that foul themselves, foul flaw of the law. What happens is that it will encourage more of these acts rather than curbing it.
For it, and I'm surprised that since '92 we've continued to sign similar contracts. Even talking to you today, I'm surprised if the similar contracts have been signed. What is the explanation for us still doing 5 to 10% royalties? Natural resource is ours. So the bottom line is that 50% is already ours. Anybody, investor coming, bring the rest of the 50%. So why are we not starting from there? So for me, 50-50, bottom line. Then we can now negotiate anything beyond that.
There are two sides of the coin. One, government in his interest to raise revenue doesn't want to invest in it. There's a need for government to invest in capacity to ensure that all those who have been mandated to collect those taxes have that kind of capacity to be able to clamp down on those people. Secondly, there's in 2018, they passed a law on automatic exchange of information. Now, this act has ensured that government has, through GRA, has set up a desk called the Automatic Exchange of Information Desk, and then the anti-money laundering desk. These are two units that are very important when it comes to looking for information both at the international level to ensure that they reconcile with the trade data.
So if you are able to put your group work together for me, I will appreciate it. Will I get that from you?
Yes.
Okay, so you put it together and then share with me the area that your group looked at and then some of the issues that you've identified. I know this is quite a technical area, but at least broadly we have achieved some appreciable level of knowledge. You see, sometimes it is not from the basis to the, or from the elementary to the very top of it that you can get that will make you appreciate. But the fact that you've been exposed to something called IFFs, then you can do an independent research and then analyze the data that you come across. And when you see such issues anywhere, you are able to identify them and do your report on them. And so don't presume that, okay, so, I mean, this is a broader topic, but we've gotten only 2 days and the knowledge acquired is limited. No, build on that. And so before we go, I just want to make a special appeal to all of us. And we know that in a matter of days, we are going into a major election. Please, let us all be very ethical and professional in our reportage. Whether we are carrying out report live or we are just writing our normal news to our media houses. Please let us uphold the ethics of the profession in our bid to want to inform the people and give them the needed information. There shouldn't be the need for anybody to want to rush to be first to publish. Just make sure if you are going to publish in a speedy manner, you would have also cross-checked your facts and publish them as they are.
Then let me speak on behalf of all participants, our colleagues, to thank Media Foundation for West Africa for organizing this training. I believe that it has been impactful. We have learned a lot, and I think it's also timely, because when you look at our setting, almost all of us, we report on a lot of issues. The specialization is a very difficult one, and sometimes too, because of our setting as northern part of the country, we don't have much information when it comes to illicit financial flows. And to have this training, I think it has equipped us with the knowledge and understanding, and then it has also given us that push that there is a sector that we are neglecting and that we need to focus more on. We can all see what the illicit financial flow is causing to our communities, our country as a whole, and our future. And so we want to thank Media Foundation for West Africa and our facilitators for taking their time, engaging, and making it very interactive for us to understand what is at stake.